anything, everything, and
Nothing at all?
nothing at all. There you go. So I know you're used to seeing me here with my daughter, Catherine. But Catherine has a busy life, so I thought, why not bring on a guest host? And this is Marc Gilbert, my husband. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Marc.
Oh, really? Geez, so what's there to say? I'm not sure.
Not sure. Well, he's my husband. There you go.
For a guy who loves to talk, and it's hard to shut up, it's a
Yeah.
weird moment.
Yes. It's okay. Once he gets his sea legs, trust me, it will be hard to make him stop talking. But we're here with our coffee and me with my peace tea because I've already drank my whole coffee. But we're here with our coffee just to check in and try our first anything, everything, and nothing at all. So we thought, what were we going to talk about? Was there anything in particular? Marc loves sales because you do a lot of sales training.
Yeah, I mean, when you and I go for lunch, we really do talk about anything,
Yeah.
whatever happens to come up. I think there's, I love conversation. We love conversation. I'm the kind of person that's got an opinion on anything if you want it, and
And we
because
love
of my
deep conversation. We're both
Yeah.
avid readers.
yeah, I've got a deep background in sales, and part of that, to me, anyways, is being able to argue both sides.
Right.
So sometimes we can have a conversation and go down any possible rabbit hole, anything, history, science. We can get deep. We can keep it silly. Love movies, books.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
All of it.
yeah, you talked about ongoing. We could talk about the way men see things versus the way women see things on
Yeah.
a
Absolutely.
different topic. You can't shut me up talking about sales or business or sales management or business management, coaching. All that sort of stuff is definitely my wheelhouse. Love science, love history. Wish I had a better memory for it. Philosophy. I mean, there's a million things you and I could be talking about. So wherever it takes us,
Wherever
I'm
we want to
comfortable.
go. Yeah, exactly.
Cheers.
Cheers. We love to eat out too. We love restaurants.
That's something we should probably do is, whether it's not necessarily a formal review, but we can talk about the restaurants that we like and the places we've been, books, movies. I mean, you and I talk about it all the time,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment. We're both very passionate people, especially, when we're conversating.
Yeah, I think it's good to think deeply on something. I'm sort of surprised sometimes. It sounds harsh when I say it, but how shallow some people seem. You're just getting kind of a veneer of somebody. Veneer.
Yeah, that's right. We were watching Frasier last night.
You're just getting a surface version of something. They're always telling you what they think you want to hear, being someone that's not really their
Or
self.
they're headlining because they read the headlines and they take an opinion
Sure.
from the headline and hadn't actually read the article.
Right. There's a lot going on there. I'm not a psychologist, but you have to be there's a level of maturity, a level of comfort in yourself. I think a lot of it is, I know this from sales, a fear of being seen as ignorant or uninformed,
Right.
right? I don't want to be taken advantage of, generally speaking. I don't want to be taken advantage of in this conversation. I don't want you to think I'm a dummy. So I heard this. I know this. I'm safe if I say this. And you have to know someone well, as you and I do, to go out and have a lunch, or like we're trying to do now on the camera. Have a talk and get a little deeper. It doesn't mean you have to be talking about something heavy,
No.
but at least speak authentically, and or it's okay to kind of wonder.
Yeah.
Wonder.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a strong opinion on this, but let's talk it out. But how would someone
Yeah.
feel if they were like this or like that? I'm just
We use each other a lot as sounding boards, Yeah, like what do you think of this? What have you heard about this? And if you know more, tell me more about it. Like you said, you're a science guy, so often I will ask you stuff scientifically. How does this look, or does this work for you?
Right.
And I'm more the history buff, so you're often asking me, around when did this happen, and what's the history behind this? And
right.
And science and history very much go together because, a lot of the scientific advancements that we've had affect how history is played out.
Sure. I've had a deep interest in science ever since I was a kid, and I find it wildly interesting. But if you could buy all when you buy books to explain, whatever it is, particle physics or whatever you're trying to learn, it's not easy. I mean, maybe some people pick it up. It's not easy for me. It's challenging to learn and to digest, and a lot of those concepts are whacked out. So just to get a picture in your mind is difficult.
Right.
So I would, read multiple books. And
Right.
the second book puts a slightly different spin, and okay, I kind of get it from a different angle.
Yeah.
Now maybe I've got a better perspective. But to your point, the books that I had the best success with couched the scientific discussion in historic terms.
Okay.
This guy discovered this, and that led us to discover that. And this guy thought he was inventing this, but tripped over this instead, and that innovation led to this revelation. And so, in the storytelling helped me to retain it, and also helped to kind of structure. It's just not just here's a list of science facts and numbers,
Yeah.
and here's some formulas that 3 people in the world understand. Like it's
I don't understand why in high school, for instance, more textbooks aren't more story based because as humans we learn through stories
well, of course,
and we understand big sort of ideas with stories, right?
before there was printing presses and the internet. I mean, thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. I'm sure it was stories that passed all the important information around. The lessons that have created and molded civilizations, for thousands of years. Those stories, whether it's morality or ethics, and one of the things that human beings have that most animals don't is an ability to I was going to say see into the future, but that's not exactly what I mean.
Right.
I'll plant a seed now because I'll have
We understand the
a
construct of-
potato later.
Yeah,
Potatoes
it
don't
will
grow from
grow,
seeds,
and-
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, potatoes grow from potatoes, so
Yeah. So you sort of plan for the future, and telling those stories or singing those
squirrels
songs.
also plan for the future because they put
Right.
nuts in their nest.
Right. We sort of instinctively.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just
Like
teasing. But
Grandpa Squirrel didn't sing a song. Store your nuts and come back later.
that's right. Yeah, and stories very much help us grasp some of those bigger ideas that, if given to us dry, we would never remember. So I'm like, why wouldn't they do that with textbooks in high school?
Right.
Because more of us would come out of high school actually remembering a lot of things, right?
Yeah, that's an odd thing. A mnemonic trick. Trying to
Yeah.
write it down, you'll remember better. Adding other, let's say, pathways to help you remember is almost counterintuitive. You'd think it would be easier to remember one simple fact as opposed to a longer story
Well,
where the fact is embedded. It's one is more information, one is less information.
right.
But somehow you're using more noodle, and there's more noodle trying to remember is better.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Like bed mess, right?
Yes.
In math, right? Like, bed mess, okay, brackets, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And and it's funny how that works for you, right?
Yeah.
But I'm amazed. You and I have watched a lot of videos. We do a lot of YouTube videos, watching of them, and we've watched, ones where they've asked, "What's the last book you read?" And so many people have gone years without reading a
Right.
book, or I haven't read since high school, and it's like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine. As you can see behind us, this is Mark's collection of books. Mine's in a whole other room.
This is maybe 25% of what I had. Like I trimmed down my collection a
yeah.
lot. This is just the most keepable. And you had, I was going to say, it kills me that I don't have enough time. I mean, again, you could easily make the time if it's important to you. There's a million things you could say there, but I wish I was able to give myself more time to read. I love reading. There's a zillion books I want to get to and finish and revisit. You had a good quote from someone about books, just having them. Do you
Yeah.
remember what that was?
I don't remember the quote
It was
verbatim,
something
but it
about
was
having them
having books around.
Knowing they're there is a comfort in of itself, and I
and
get that a
and
lot.
and the quote was, have more books than you'll read in a lifetime, because you'll read a lot more because you have the books there, right? Because they're there, and always as a constant reminder, you should be reading, you should be reading. And the same thing works for children. If you want children that are
Right.
readers, have books around and read, even if it's for 5 minutes. Like, that's the problem. A lot of people want to allot like an hour for reading, and
Yeah.
you're not going to sit and read for an hour, especially if you're reading reference type books, right? Give yourself 5 minutes and just expand on that. I found that's what helps for me.
Yeah.
And I have dyslexia, so after about 10 minutes the words start to float on the page, so I have to take a break anyways. I don't have to go out and go for a jog or
Yeah.
anything.
But also, as the
But-
eyes get a little older too, it just it doesn't. I remember reading a lot as I was a kid. It never felt forced. It felt like a joy. I couldn't wait to get to the next one, and then
Me too.
adult life takes over.
Yeah, you get busy. Yeah.
And it's very cliche, but we didn't have phones and tablets and stuff. We had books and Legos and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know? And so we're sort of cheating today's kids out of that experience. And how is a book supposed to compete? With the endorphins of the sounds and the noises and the beeps and I want
Yeah,
a
the
prize
colors
and I
and-
can
yeah.
share this with my friend and we're all competing.
Yeah.
It's tough. Where does that take us? A generation or two from.
Yeah,
From
because we've
now.
never had a generation that had this level of technology at their fingertips.
Yeah, I've been using AI on my phone in place of Google searches
Yeah.
to find information.
Yeah.
I want to refresh my memory. What was
Yeah.
when did Emperor Hadrian live or whatever? You can get whatever little synopsis you want. But now, do I go back to my bookshelf and find the book? Because when I read a book, if it's that kind of book, I'm making notes, not on the book, but I have a little piece of paper inside, and I put like
Okay.
little
Notes.
colored sticky things,
Yeah, I mark up my books.
so I can go back and find what I want.
Right.
But am I doing that now? No, I'm going to the
Yeah.
it's all
chat
in the
or-
machine now.
Or Google. Yeah. I mean, it's a computer at our fingertips.
But we're offloading our memory, which in and of itself isn't a problem. But if we continue on that path and we start to offload our thinking, our thought process, our puzzle and problem solving,
Right.
then is it not making decisions for us, but are we, well, let's consult the oracle. What should I do in this situation? And of course, all of those questions are now ethical questions and moral questions.
Yeah.
And should the machine be telling us that?
Right.
Men and women have wrestled with those problems themselves for ages, and now we've just sort of stuck it in a magic box. And ask the magic box, it's like a
Well, and people
magic 8
often
ball.
don't want to make these kinds of decisions that they're asking the oracle, as you say, because as you know, I'm a professional tarot card reader, and I very much guard against making the decision for the client.
Right.
I allow them the space to talk it out. Let's see what some of the options are that maybe you haven't explored, or that you are exploring, but we take it a little further, that sort of thing. But ultimately, and I teach this in my courses, you have to take the ego out of it yourself and allow the client to be able to make the decision, because you're not here to make that decision for them.
Right.
That's unethical, basically.
Yeah, you're steering the conversation. You're teasing out the hidden intent, from your client. But on an individual basis, if I'm asking the phone, or I'm asking you, or I'm asking someone, what should I do in this situation? You're sort of abdicating the responsibility of the decision.
Yeah.
I just did what they told me. I just did what the thing said. I just did what my boss told me to do.
Yeah.
You have agency in your life, and you have a responsibility to do what is right, for you or your family or your work or whatever. You
Or
can't
yourself.
just
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of times where someone's unsure and they want like a tiebreaker. I can't decide in my head. I could go either way. And what do you think I should do? And I will add that to my informed decision. But a lot of people, I'm sure, just, well, tell me what I should do.
Yeah.
So just it's like when you see someone in the middle of the road, all of a sudden the light changes and they don't know what to do. And just the hands off the wheels.
Yeah.
What am I doing in the middle of the road? I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you're driving the car.
You're
Like,
in charge of the car. You've got to
you
drive
can't
it.
just give up your responsibility. That's a silly example, but a lot of people probably do that. And like, we're sure we're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
We're just bags of meat figuring it out. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, like it's sort of like what's the next generation after this generation that's had all these technical things and like you say chat AI type things
chat jippity.
and chat gibbity. You know, because it's so easy as a human, I find, to not want to make the decision because like you say,
Right.
then you take the responsibility out. It's not my fault. It, you know, like sort of who
Right.
did it? Not me, not me. You know, kids always not me kind of thing.
Well,
and you
yeah.
adults will do the not me thing too if they can get away with it.
Not meaning to revert to my safe place here, but I talk about that a lot in sales coaching.
Okay.
You know, what's can you swear on this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, what's the number one reason someone doesn't buy from you? And it
Right.
doesn't matter what you sell, what product or service. The number one reason someone doesn't buy is because they're afraid of getting fucked. They're
Right.
afraid of making a mistake,
Right.
right? It's some version of you haven't made me feel safe enough yet with your product or your service or your price or you or whatever it is. Because people, even when you want it, like me, I want to buy this thing. I'm interested in this thing, but you know, is there another one I haven't seen? I don't
Right.
know enough about it. I don't want to buy it now and find a better deal later. There's 1,000 different combinations of that, and that's human nature. I'm afraid once I make a decision from which there's no coming back, that's all on me. I suffer all the consequences of that. Whether it's, do I go for that job or not? Do I try and make this yellow light or not? Do I cross now in traffic? Well, all those little things.
Yeah.
You know, our brains are wired to protect us, to try and be safe. So it's human nature to not want to jump into something, and we think that getting more information helps us get there, and it does a lot of the times. But ultimately, you have to make the decision. If you
At
abdicate
some
your
point,
responsibility
yeah.
to make the decision, what do you think I should do?
Yeah.
Then you're not
Because it's
in charge.
nerve-wracking. Like if you're buying a house or a big purchase, it's very nerve-wracking. Like it's exciting
sure.
but nerve-wracking at the same time. Like, you know, cars, houses, those kind of big purchases
Yeah.
are like, oh my God, am I doing this right? Even traveling, you know, when you pick the hotel, you pick where you want to go. Did I make the right decision? You know, am I going to have the best beach? Are they going to have good enough drinks? All that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I could talk about sales and business obviously for 20 years without taking a breath, but just generally speaking, decision making, people making decisions, choosing all the paths that take you through life. Did you ever read about free will? Did we ever talk about that before?
I'm sure we've talked about it, but
I'm
and
not.
I've read a little bit about it, but not.
There's discussions about, you know, do we live in a deterministic world? Like, is everything all predetermined? Whatever choices you make, you would just end up in the
Just
same path anyway.
fate will take you here.
Yeah, and there's religious connotations. I've tried to look that up a little bit and read a little bit about it. There's a whole bunch of philosophy stuff about free will, and I don't think I really understand it well enough to talk
I mean, I
about it at all.
talk about
But
the
it's
free
a
will
weird,
contract in the case of angels. Like I often will tell people, you know, angels cannot intercede for you because we have the free will contract.
right?
And the only time they can help is when we ask for it, because then we're giving them the permission to come in and work their magic, so to speak, right?
Well, if that's a good point. If someone's going to be judged on being good or evil, or in a religious context, if you're a sinner or a saint, it doesn't count if you weren't the one making the decision for yourself. Like we were just watching that show about the people in jail. Like if someone's ridiculously drunk,
Yeah.
so their mind is altered, the stuff you're doing there, you're certainly responsible for it in a legal sense.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's different. If someone chooses to I don't have a starving, kid at home. My wife isn't dying in the hospital, and I need money. I just choose to steal this thing from the store because I want it for myself.
Right.
I've made a conscious decision to do something, bad. You have free will in that
Yeah, as
in
humans
that sense.
we can choose to do good or we can choose to do bad.
Yeah.
Both have consequences.
I,
Some
I definitely believe that we have the ability to steer our course, not just individually, but humanity. Because otherwise, that would just be stupid. It just doesn't make sense to me that
that
well,
we're not in a
well,
simulation.
well, the simulation thing is something different.
Yeah.
You could be living in a simulation and still have free will, just like you could in a computer game. You
Okay.
can do what you want in the game
I
within
want to forget
within
everything. I want a
within the
good
limits.
steak and a nice
Yeah,
cigar.
I don't want to. I want to be rich and famous. I don't want to remember nothing.
Exactly.
Exactly. No, you could be living in a simulation, but the I don't know who's messaging me, but the argument about it, maybe there is no free will and everything's all predetermined.
Yeah.
That I don't think that makes sense. I don't know why that would be entertained, but there's hundreds of books
Maybe
written on
there's
all kinds of
certain
weird
things
stuff.
in your life that you're supposed to kind of gravitate towards. However, you can choose to not gravitate towards those things. Like when I do
You're
a
talking
birth
about
chart
yeah.
in astrology, they have what's called the dragon's head, which is your north node. And that's sort of a promise you've made to yourself to focus on that area of your life, to strengthen it, to hone it, to improve it in some way. But not everyone does because we forget what promises we made.
You're talking about each individual may have a personal destiny or
Yeah.
a path
That they've picked.
that may be chosen for them or more right for them in some way.
Well, yeah, but it's more in astrology. It's very much you got to own your stuff. So the North Node or the Dragon's Head, where you're supposed to be heading in this life, whether it's I'm supposed to have a public life and I'm supposed to help society, or more personal, like I'm pointing to the houses that are actually in the chart. I'm supposed to try and have a family and raise a good family, or I'm supposed to have a partnership that and learn how to interact with others and how to share, so to speak. And the idea behind that is you've picked that, so it's on you,
Right.
and you've got to own it. But when we get here, we don't always know where our dragon's head is, right? Because the saying is that we go through the sea of forgetfulness, right? Because that way we kind of do have that free will and we can flounder a little, we can make mistakes, but hopefully we always go back to the dragon's head that we're supposed to be in. Now, that being said, they say some people forget to go through the sea of forgetfulness, so they know
They
it.
forget to go through the sea of forgetfulness.
Yeah. Or they avoid it in some way, and they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing in this life, but it creates a very boring life, they say, because Mark's going to come home at 5 o'clock, and then I'm going to make dinner, and I'm destined
Right.
to have I put a red towel in the wash and everything turned pink, and but they know all this stuff,
Right.
and it's hard to have free will then because you already know what you're supposed to be doing every time,
Yeah.
every second.
I think I get what you're saying. I mean, many people. People like routine. Many people like routine, and it's a comfort. It's the predictability. It's this is what happens next. I know what happens next. I do this, and the doing of the regular things is comforting.
Yeah.
Because the world is challenging enough, and we're in a comfortable spot here. The snow is outside, but we're still vulnerable bags of meat. So
Like a roof over our head,
Yeah.
or like a warm blanket for night. We get up and we brush our teeth every
Yeah.
morning because that's what you do, right? And
you could take a look at people through history. You'd know them better than I do, but you could take a look at whatever famous people or leaders or kings or whatever, and someone with a notable life, and in retrospect say, well, they were destined for that.
right,
That was the role they were born to fulfill on the planet.
right.
But can you know that in the beginning. I'm not so sure. You can
Yeah, like I mean,
and it's
royalty
almost,
often does, like
yeah,
they're groomed to
right.
you're the going to be the future king or queen or whatever.
But I sometimes think it's almost not silly. It's almost obvious. Like me sitting here, I'm necessarily the product of everything that happened to me up to this point.
Yeah,
You know, and whatever I happen to be, you could say, well, that's he was destined to be that
yeah.
based on the
Looking
things that,
back,
but
yeah,
that's true for everybody.
yeah,
And some
absolutely.
people end up being a Roman emperor, and some people end up,
Being a peasant.
whatever. That's the that's a good point though. Someone who's just a peasant in the Dark Ages has certainly more limited free will.
Yeah,
They have
because most of them didn't even leave the village they were a part of.
right, but they have free will, and they still have agency over the life within the confines of what's available to them.
Yeah,
I
some
can
are more
I can
confined
I
than
could steal my
others.
neighbor's bread, or I could whatever give him one of my chickens. You
Yeah,
still have some choices.
you
You
have,
know,
yeah, and some have very limited choices, especially throughout history. The
I can't
serfs
just
and the
choose to be the king.
yeah,
It's like
I'm the
I'm
king.
here. I'm the new king. I'll be taking over.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give me that. It's like, get him out of here.
It's like when the Europeans came over to North America. This is our land, and all the natives were like, "Hang on a second,
Is that all it takes? A little flag?
just a little flake, okay." I declare this in the name of France or England or Spain. The
Yeah,
three.
you've got a good memory for history. My dad has an excellent memory
Yeah.
for history. I have
Well, he's lived a lot of history too.
sure. I I'm endlessly excited about history and interested in history, but I get frustrated when I sort of lose the plot because I wish if I could retain it all, I'd love to. Oh, while this was happening, in North America, this was happening in China. Be able to see the bigger picture in my mind.
Right.
So that's sometimes why I use the phone or
Yeah.
one of those atlases, those atlases I like that show you the timeline of
Yeah.
things. They don't have to be related, but it's interesting to say, oh, geez, well, that was happening. These guys were still living in a mud hut.
And history is very interesting when you're coming at it from different angles. As you know, I know a lot of the Tudor history, which is between the 1500s and 1600s, is kind of when
That's
they.
what I figured.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But what's interesting is that history, I've come at it at many different angles, like from King Edward, who was the king after King Henry, right? And King Henry, and then I've seen it from some of his wife's point of view, some of his daughter's points of
right.
view. So it's sort of all the same history, but I'm seeing it at different angles. So I'm able to piece it together, and also a lot of it has been told to me in story form, so I retain it,
Right.
right? So yeah, it's sort of picking a piece of history that you want to look at, and you can't help but look at other pieces, because then I started reading about what's going on in what is now Italy, which was part of the Holy Roman Empire, which
Right.
went all the way up to Germany for a long time. And Germany was like pieces of countries until it became Germany. It wasn't Germany. They were the Germanic states.
Oh,
But and the whole thing about the Pope, when France had its own Pope and Rome had its own Pope, so
oh, did it really?
there were two popes happening at one time, and eventually it all came back to the Vatican
Did
City.
they have to duel?
No, but the popes would go to war. They were a country, and
Oh,
they
that's
would go
interesting. I
to
didn't know that.
war, and
But they called them popes, or they were just this is they each country had its own top religious sort
no,
of leader. Or
no.
whatever.
France, Spain, Italy, the Holy Roman Empire all believed that the Pope was the top, and
But my pope's the real one, and your pope's
Well, back when they had just one pope for a little while, for when they first began, France, Spain, Italy, the Holy Roman Empire all bowed to the Pope, even
oh,
the
I
kings.
misunderstood you. I thought you were saying they each had a different pope.
No, and England for a long time. It was only when Henry VIII came in that he said, "I don't recognize you as Pope. I'm making myself the head of the Church
I'm
in
the Pope
England.
now.
I'm the Pope now."
Just wear both hats.
Exactly. And at that same time that Henry VIII was breaking away from Catholicism, the Reformation was coming in, and the Reformation started in the Germanic states with Martin Luther, and it was part of bringing the Bible from Latin and the Mass from Latin into English. So Henry VIII, when he first started, he didn't change the Mass or anything, but he did make it like he allowed it to be in English. So they for a long time.
And if you're tired of your wife, you can just behead her and get another one.
That's right.
Was that part of the Reformation?
That
too?
was part of no, it was not, but it was part of the Henry VIII
Okay.
thing. But
Next.
yeah, next Henry VIII had 6 wives, and there was one.
What happened to him?
He just died.
Well, we all died.
But he had a
But
bad.
how did he die?
Well, he had a bad infection for a very long time, and he smelled like gross, like rotting meat. So his
Terrific.
last wife, Catherine, he had 3 Catherines, but his last wife, Catherine, still had to be queen to this king that just was old and could barely move because he had to have people helping him walk.
Sounds terrific.
And I think the infection just eventually took him down, and he had some sexually transmitted diseases as well. So
I'd like to withdraw the question. Kind of sorry I asked.
exactly. Yeah, Catherine Parr was his last wife.
Where do you find her?
Oh, I don't know, around.
Like, would they just marry
he would
whoever, or was it like
yeah,
in the
like,
movies? Oh, I married the princess of
yeah,
Italy.
most of them
we'd
were
get this-
obviously of the aristocratic class, but they would come to court, and sometimes they were being presented in court, right? Like you didn't come to court until you were about
Right.
14, 15, 16, maybe somewhere
Not
in that
like
range.
Judge Judy, like the
Yeah,
royal
like the
court.
royal court, and there were many people that just hung out and
Right.
partied, and their meals were ridiculous. Holding court, yeah, exactly. And the King Henry did do a lot of he's with his council and they're making laws and rules and stuff like that. So he added on to it all the religious rules as well, right? So
That's another thing about history, is that we sort of what am I trying to say? We sort of romanticize and amplify the voices of people who held bigger positions.
oh
Right?
yeah,
So we know, Alexander the Great and the Roman emperors and so. But what was life for the commoner, or the guy that took care of the horses? We don't really. Those stories don't make it. You're sort of inferring, and you lionize the people that had
we
greater
hear about
influence,
the
which
conquerors
makes sense.
and the victors a lot in history. And there was I have a client that runs a museum, and one thing they said is they don't get a lot of the common people's kind of viewpoints, right? And then I had another client who found some letters, and it was letters, I don't know if it was to her or not, but they were letters like between a mother and daughter, and they would talk about their daily lives. And she's like, I don't know what to do with these because I don't want to throw them out. But yeah, I don't think it was her, because she's like, I just found them, and I don't want to throw them out because there's someone's lives in here.
Right.
And I said, give it to a museum. They would love to see that. I got a little something in my mouth. They would love to see that, because that's what they're lacking a lot in
Right.
these museums that are basically history keepers, right?
Right.
And they want to see more of that, like what was life like,
And for a lot of history, there's a layer of translation. Right? And the translator has to be good, like not just, I know both these languages. You have to kind of have an understanding of
yeah,
the history yourself and the life.
so you can pick up on the mood, the vibe of what that phrase or sentence means.
That was more my point. What was a metaphor? What was a joke? What was
Right.
what was a hint? And everything is not necessarily literal.
Yeah.
And when you read something today, a lot of or we talked about that the other day, like stuff on text and email can often be very quickly. I just had a customer get upset about, just things can
Yeah.
often be taken out of context or read harsher than intended, or your putting a layer of intent and meaning that wasn't there.
Yeah.
You have to be very, very careful in text and email. That's why I like talking to people in person, or well, in person is my favorite. You can see my face, you can hear my voice, I can see yours. We can
Yeah.
kind of. I think you misheard what I meant. Let me just back up a second.
Yeah.
Which you don't really get to do. I think I'm certainly very literate. I'm good at, putting my thoughts
You're a bit of a wordsmith.
into
Yeah,
words.
absolutely.
But even then, it's so easy to get it misinterpreted. So add a layer of a different language, add a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
How could things get misconstrued? It would happen very
And add
easily.
your own propaganda. I mean, the Bible's a prime example of that, right? There's many different versions of the Bible, and like the King James is the one that comes to mind. It was written by a king, so he was putting his own layer of bias on there, right?
Right.
And especially when you're writing a spiritual book, right? And you're putting that, your thoughts and your beliefs down into that, right? And yeah, you pick up on the main stories, but sometimes there's a little extra subtle thing that happens in there, right?
Right. Well, if someone's written in their current age, in their current language, some sort of delicate story or poem or parable to illustrate a life lesson, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine that you could rewrite that into a different language, modernize it, carry it forward hundreds of years, and retain any of it. I got all kinds of books here, poetry, all kinds of stuff, and it's in English,
Right.
and
right.
it's from like 50 years ago, not 1,000 years ago,
Right.
and I can barely make heads or tails out of it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right, yeah.
I can get, well, this is very well written. I kind of get the gist of it, but it's not maybe 100 years ago. So it's not my English. It's not my words. You're trying to,
Well, like Shakespeare, for instance.
Right.
You've got one of those books that shows you what Shakespeare said and shows you what modern English
Yeah.
it would translate into.
Yeah, I forget.
Because a
there's
lot of people-
No Fear Shakespeare.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Fear Shakespeare.
I've got it for Coriolanus, and I've got it for The Tempest,
Okay.
which I was interested in, and that makes it a lot easier.
Right.
I-
Yeah,
you
because
know-
a lot of people can't read Shakespeare
Yeah.
and fully understand it. Like in high school, I remember reading Shakespeare and going, "Yeah, I totally get this," and I tend to be able to understand it.
I just can't at all.
But a lot of people can't. Even like Jane Austen's books, I find really hard to read because they are in a different sort of way of speaking,
Yeah.
right? And so normally I can go through books pretty quickly despite my dyslexia. But when I get to Jane Austen, I have to slow way down.
Yeah, I find Shakespeare just a black curtain. Like if I read that book and it shows sort of side by side, oh, this is what it said and this is what he meant.
Why
It's
didn't
like,
you just say it that way?
Well, no, I was like, well, I wouldn't have got that at all. Like
Right.
I would have not understood anything that you just said.
Right.
So I don't remember. I think I told you this story when I was a kid and I was in, I don't know, grade 9 or something like that. Mm-hmm. They had you would take an English, like you
Yeah,
take
English was a required
well,
course.
if you took an English class, you would be learning whatever Shakespeare or Tom Hardy or something, whatever it was that was age appropriate. And I was in a French class, and then they whipped out some books that were of that level.
Okay. Shakespeare type
And it's like,
stuff.
motherfucker, I can't even understand, English, Shakespeare. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Right,
You know?
right,
And
right.
I went to French school, as you know, since I was a kid. So,
Yeah.
So and I got some heavy books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an idiot. I'm a smart man.
You're a smart man.
I know what love is, Jenny. Yeah, but I find Shakespeare impenetrable.
Oh, okay.
And frankly, most of those stories I have no interest in. I couldn't care less. But those two stories, I was curious
Well,
as
Shakespeare
what they were
does
about.
get referenced a lot, so it's nice to know the reference.
But if I read the play or read the sonnet and it really had an impact on me, and therefore I remembered a memorable moment or a line, that's one thing.
Right.
If I've memorized a couple of Shakespeare lines to sound cool at a cocktail party, then I don't have time for it. Just tell me what you think.
Right,
Save me
right.
the fluff.
Okay.
If it, like we were talking about tattoos. If it means something to you, knock
Yes.
yourself out.
Yeah.
If you've got Yosemite Sam riding a unicorn, that doesn't mean anything. What's the
One
point?
drunk at night.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why did I do that? Because we've watched those shows too of tattoos that like where they're repairing or altering a tattoo because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's not appropriate. And some of them were very inappropriate. It's like,
I really don't
why?
understand that. I mean, it's expensive to get a tattoo, right?
It
Like
is.
thousands of dollars for a big color.
Yeah,
whatever.
if you're getting full sleeves or back or whatever.
So I get why they have people that would volunteer to go on these TV shows and get one for free from a presumably a really good tattoo artist.
Yeah, Master Ink,
And maybe you want to be on TV. I don't know,
Ink
but
Master, whatever
you
it's
could
called.
brag, hey, I got mine on the whatever. But when they give them full autonomy to do whatever they want, I find that weird.
Yeah, because it's like it's a
Do
permanent
whatever you
thing
want.
going on your body.
Right.
You know, like you and I said, I don't have any tattoos. I have enough scars to tell my story. I don't need tattoos on top of it. But yeah, I'm like, I don't get the whole, this is just whatever, just put whatever on me
Yeah.
that I have to wear for the rest of my life. Because even if you get the tattoo removed, there's still a scar where the tattoo was, right?
Yeah. And there's lots of temporary tattoo stuff, and I could
You
see
can buy whole sleeves and wear
yeah,
them.
I mean, I could see myself getting a permanent tattoo, but
Yeah, you've talked about tattoos.
I'd again, I feel like it would have to be something very meaningful to mark an accomplishment or whatever, the passing of a loved one, or I climbed a mountain, or it would have to be something. I don't know. Everybody's different. I mean,
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
wear
I'm
bow
not
ties
against
and-
tattoos. I think some of them are just gorgeous. I always find though, because I don't have nice skin, because I've got scars all over my skin, I'm often wondering why these people with such great skin are getting tattoos.
Right.
Because you have such beautiful skin. I would kill for that skin.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, it's I don't know the answer to that, but as a layperson tattoo speaking, you might say we all express ourselves with clothing and
yeah.
with voice and our demeanor, and maybe I start to wear a hat, and when you start to wear a hat with a feather in it, there's only so many things you can do.
Yeah.
And I'll get a couple extra earrings, and I'm going to get you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to get a skull on my face. And then, it's a way of expressing yourself, and
Yeah.
I have something you can't have.
Yeah.
You can't buy this hat. You can't buy this shirt.
Yeah, true.
I like
true.
your sweater. I like your tattoo. Well, I killed the guy that tattooed me, and so you can never get it again. It's only I have this.
That's right. It's so unique.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, but you're right. It's a form of expression, and I've heard too. Once you get one tattoo, you tend to want to get more. It becomes very addictive.
Yeah. Well, I understand the collection thing. I have my own little sets of
Collections, yeah.
collections.
You
but,
and I
but
both.
they don't.
Yeah.
But they don't cause me pain to get
No,
them.
no, but it's a weird. Like, our daughter Catherine got a tattoo on her forearm, and she said she napped through parts of it because like
She's got a really nice tattoo. It's pretty
Yeah.
big.
It is
bigger
pretty
than I
big.
thought.
Yeah, but it's very nice. It's very her.
It's also very detailed.
Yes.
Like what I would envision myself getting if I ever got a tattoo would require fine lines, and that's my other worry is you pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, you
and
want to
and
find
they
the
don't
right
do it
artist.
right,
Yeah.
and it's all messed up, or hers is so clean and the lines are so thin.
Yeah, she really researched like what artist she wanted to have do
It's
it.
impressive because I'm sure it's not easy. Like it's not like doing it on paper and then I made a mistake. Let me get another.
Yeah,
get a fresh
let me
piece
get
of
an
paper.
eraser. Yeah,
Like once it's in there, it's in there.
it's in there. Yeah, and even if the the paper they put over to sort of do the outline of the tattoo, that's just a guideline. Like
Yeah,
they
and
can
that's
still
imperfect. Like
yeah, they can
yeah.
still screw that up, right? It's like, oh, it looks great. Oh, after the tattoo, oh, not exactly what I wanted. But yeah, it's a pretty cool tattoo, and like you said, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like when
Yeah.
she said it was on her forearm, I'm like, oh, okay, but it covers most of her
Yeah,
forearm.
looks good though.
It does look good.
It's got some color in it too, right? Doesn't it?
I think a little bit, but it's mostly black and white. I think, Yeah.
Maybe she's just got color in her forearm.
Maybe. That's right. Yeah, some of the jailhouse tattoos though, not good.
Yeah, I don't know. The jail is a whole different thing. You know, like it's hard to imagine what surviving in a jail would be like.
I would just say, put me in solitary, bring me my meals, and bring me a couple books every week, and I would be good.
Well, that's a good point. Like you're not allowed to stay in solitary. You know, like
It's supposed to be a punishment, but for me, it would be a vacation.
well, for most regular people, like a non-criminal trying to think about what it'll be like in jail. Like I don't want to be out in the yard with a bunch of criminals.
Right.
Like you know,
Right.
I don't want to
What am I
have
doing here? These are all criminals.
right. So it's an odd little
You got the right file?
ecosystem. You got the right case,
Harry Monroe.
Harry Monroe.
I don't even want to do 1 year, let alone 100.
125. What? But it's a weird little ecosystem.
If you know what movie that's from, put it in the comments.
So you got to get a tattoo. You've got to whatever you're made to do to survive in there.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, you know me, I love court shows, I love jail shows, I love prison stuff. I don't know why I like watching it. But one thing I do find that's very common is it's very loud. Like
The
it's
jail is loud.
yeah, like
Yeah.
jail and prisons are loud, and it's hard to, like, how are you supposed to find peace and find, that not reformation, but
I know what you mean.
reforming that
Yeah.
you're supposed to have when everyone's yelling all the time? Guards, prisoners, someone's trying to, start something, whatever it might be. It's hard. There's a lot of violence in jail, obviously. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But it's like, why are we not maybe helping these people find, like, some of them do find God in
Yeah.
prison. But there just seems like so many don't.
And I suppose if
Not that you should find God to
if we
find
knew
peace,
more
but-
about it, I mean, that's why there's different levels of jail and prison, right? Like
Yeah.
the non-violent person is supposed to be in a place around so the one when you see it on TV and in the movies, I mean
They're showing the hardest
these are all
and
the
the-
roughest people,
Yeah.
and you're surrounded by rough people, so you can't sort of drop the act, so to speak. You've
Well,
got to
that
keep it
one
up.
prison show that we were watching that was in other countries.
Hmm.
Some of them were like, "Oh my God, I'd be scared
yeah.
to walk through the doors of that prison."
We're very spoiled isn't quite the word, but we're definitely sheltered in the West.
Right.
And we easily forget that there's much of the world that does not live like this at all. And
Yeah,
the world
and
is
how
a very
harsh-
dangerous place.
Yeah, harsh and dangerous place.
And most places around the world are not wondering, well, I hope 7-Eleven has my favorite drink. Like that's not the way a lot of the world is.
Right,
So
right. Yeah.
we what do they call that? First world problems or
Yeah,
whatever.
first world problems. Well, we also watch a lot of cooking and traveling shows.
Yeah,
and
they're not watching cooking and traveling shows.
No,
in
but
Sudan.
the one thing, like the one show that we watch where the guy goes all over the world and eats different things, and you and I both commented
the
that
guy
would
with the big smile.
yeah, that
Ooh.
yeah, he gets super excited about
Look
everything.
at the noodles.
But it's like there's like a dozen health code violations
Right.
that are happening, but people eat like that, like
Yeah.
that's street food. That's
Here you go.
yeah.
Here you
Oh, I
go.
dropped it on the floor.
There.
That's okay. 5-second rule.
Yeah, and I splash some of this.
It's like, what is that? Oh, I don't know. We just splashed it in there.
I saw a funny video. I think it was like British video, like three buddies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was something like a hot dog vendor if it was like those videos
Oh,
from,
okay.
from other parts of the world, and then they're just like slapping it and dunking it and stuff and smearing stuff on it. It was pretty funny because it's like, yeah, that is kind of what it looks like actually. Like maybe we shouldn't be eating that.
Yeah, yeah. And the whole octopus thing.
No.
Oh, no. You shouldn't eat octopus. They're sentient beings. And
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I don't
yeah,
like that.
to me, I equate that with dogs.
Yeah.
It's like you don't eat certain animals. We don't eat dogs. We don't eat octopus. Squid I'm okay with. You can eat all the squid you want, but
Yeah, I mean, I get the older I get, the more sensitive I get, in the sense that, like I was watching a silly movie this morning,
uh-huh.
a sci-fi movie
Okay.
with Minnie Driver's son as an actor,
Oh, okay.
Adam Driver, I think it's,
Okay.
and he's actually a good actor. This is like a silly movie,
Oh, okay. But
and
he's a good actor within the silly
but there's a
movie.
couple of moments where I'm like, I'm just tearing up a little bit. So I get a little more sensitive, but also, about I don't want people to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like to watch video of someone getting hurt or I don't and so I get that some people would be sensitive to eating animals and killing animals and
Yeah. Yeah.
hunting and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. So I get all that, but still, we're not really made to. Well, maybe we are. Who knows? But the way we exist today is not surviving on berries.
Right.
So we eat meat, and I like to go to the grocery store and get a chicken. I don't want to have to go and
Kill the chicken.
kill it myself or whatever.
Right.
But in different parts of the world are different, in their thinking about such things. But obviously, we wouldn't kill and eat a puppy. We wouldn't kill and eat a
No.
dolphin.
No.
And I would definitely put octopus in that
Category.
In that category.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
documentary on, I think it was Netflix, about that My Little Octopus
Oh.
is crazy. Like
Yeah.
there's something in there. There's a little spark in there.
Yeah.
And of course they're unique in the sense that they're
They can problem solve and
I was going to say yeah, but I think if you trace back their DNA, the history of the branch of that animal is totally different than much of the rest of the world.
oh, okay.
I think they've either proven or they've speculated that it may have come from another planet, like in the past that some of that
It's an alien.
organic material.
They built the pyramids.
I don't think that's right. I might be messing it up, but they're definitely.
And then they went
unique.
back into the ocean after they built the pyramids.
Why wouldn't you?
We're done. Bye.
One of the books behind me talking about building the pyramids and going back to the ocean is a book about some research and speculation about the Chinese Empire.
Oh, okay. Which was often ahead of the Western
Yeah.
world.
Well, this
like
speculates.
Europeans and stuff like that.
Yeah, that way back when that they circumnavigated the globe, basically explored everywhere,
And then
said-
came back
and
and
then
went,
just came back and said, "Okay, well, we're done," and turtled up. There's evidence of them having great big ships. So we imagine, Columbus, but those are like small boats. But like these great big wooden ships with trained seals that
oh,
would go out and chase fish into their nets so that they could eat while they're like all
my
kinds of crazy stuff.
God,
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not out of the realm of possibility. The U.S. Navy has trained animals, seals, and dolphins to do that kind of stuff.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's probably
And
a
there's
lot
lots of survival stories of people who have been shipwrecked and are in the ocean, and dolphins will come to protect
Yeah.
them from the sharks and stuff. And that's kind of cool, those kind of stories.
Yeah, if we don't understand, well, I don't understand it. Somebody understands it. But when they talk about, a dog or an animal, I can smell that you're sick. I can
Yeah.
smell that you're fearful. The pheromones and their noses are whatever 10,000
They
times
say they've
better.
got dogs that are trained to smell cancer.
Right. So I get all that. Then that you can kind of wrap your head around that. But how does a fish do that? Like how does a dolphin sense?
Well, dolphins
there's
an
a-
animal.
Is it?
Yeah.
How does a
Has to
dolphin?
breathe air.
How does a dolphin sense that there's eggs? That makes sense. How does a dolphin sense that there's, this human being needs help, or the dolphin that'll come up to the boat?
Yeah.
Come and help my kid's stuck in a net.
Right, right.
So it's not just an understanding that my kid's in trouble. It's an understanding that this thing here has hands.
And can fix
I need
this.
somebody with hands to help me with this.
Yeah.
There's something going on in there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
It's more than just. I don't know. It's weird. It's not
Yeah.
like training your dog to go and get you a beer from the fridge. Like that's
Which
it's
is a cool trick
it's
in of
something
itself.
else.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a dog is surprised when you come home,
Yes.
But a dolphin is going.
Whether it's been a minute or a
asking for
day.
help.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Although,
Intelligence.
dogs can ask for help too. Remember Lassie?
Yeah,
Lassie, there's a kid in the well. We better. It's the kid that's stupid in that scenario.
that's that's true.
Lassie wouldn't end up in the bottom of a well.
Well, we don't we don't really understand where intelligence comes from, right?
Right.
We don't really
Okay.
understand where intelligence and consciousness comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something about octopuses, come to think of it, where, see if I remember, like, I think they've got brain-like tissue,
Like gray matter type stuff.
yeah, in the rest of their body, not just in
Oh.
what we perceive as their head.
Right. Right.
But that's what human beings think, right? It's all up here. I'm
Right.
thinking up here, which is
Yeah.
kind of, I guess,
But
true.
they've also proven that we've got brain matter in our stomach that, or in the stomach area that goes up the vagus nerve into our into our brain. Well, that's why we get things like gut instinct, right? Like when we can walk into a room and feel the negative vibe, or when we're in love, we get butterflies, or
Interesting.
and and when we get scared, it sends it like that's why we get upset stomach when we're scared or stressed, because it's our body saying you got to fix this,
Imbalance, or
this imbalance, find that peace, that calm, whatever, because that's where your body wants to be, right?
yeah, that's weird. Well, you'd think so. What about the people that want to jump out of airplanes and race fast cars and
Well, then
jump
they're
their
after the adrenaline.
motorcycles
They're
over
not
the,
after the stress, or they're after the adrenaline,
like
dopamine.
they've got that excitement once, and now they're sort of addicted to it in
Yeah.
the sense that you might want a cigarette or a beer or whatever.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I'm not that A-type personality, as they call them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it is a bit of.
I
It's
may-
sort of like people that get addicted to jogging. They like the jogger's high.
Yeah. I'm a calculated risk guy. I'm not a
Yeah,
jump off a building and hope the chute works risk guy.
yeah, yeah. Well, especially as I've gotten older, I'm definitely toned down in what I love to do that might scare other people.
Well, when you're a young man and you're, riding your motorcycle and driving your car and doing stupid things, that's you're not really risk taking because you don't understand the risk.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of like the free will thing. Like I'm not actively deciding to risk my life. I don't get it. I'm too young and stupid to get that I could die here, or
Right.
get myself in trouble or get knocked out.
You don't, yeah, fully understand the consequences. As a
Right.
young person, you feel invincible, anyways, right?
Right.
And they say guys don't. Their frontal lobe, which is what makes your decision making part of you, doesn't fully develop until you're 25.
You've got a
So you
million.
just walk around like big gorillas until.
Yeah, you've got a million or however many years of instinct and evolution to make a thinking, fighting machine.
Right. Yeah.
And there aren't, rites of passage in the West like there are in some parts of the world and have been. It's not like, well, you got to go. I mean, I suppose there's versions of that, right? Come on,
Yeah.
son, we'll go and get your first deer.
Right,
but
right,
but generally speaking, it's not like, okay, well, we got to go fight the next village, or we have to,
Yeah.
yeah. Two of your brothers died this winter, and let's make sure we have enough potatoes this time around.
Yeah.
There
Well, like
aren't
the old
same.
sort of adage, the first son got whatever the father had, the second son went to the clergy, and the third son went to the military, right?
Right.
And that's how they made their way in the world, because they weren't part of any of the inheritance. Or, like if you were a serf, you just did serf things.
But I don't think there are the same kinds of travails that a young man would normally have to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't mean it in a, well, in my day. I don't mean like that.
No,
but just
no.
generally speaking,
But every culture
civilization
kind of
has
had
gotten easier.
some rites of passage, especially for the men. Now, the women had their own versions of rites of passage, like the first time we had a period, the first time we get pregnant. We have sort of internal bodily rites of passage. There's other things that, like.
Yeah, what external hurdles would a young woman normally have in the history of the world? I'm thinking what the parallel, a guy, okay, we got to go to war, or you got to, there's a million things, but I'm just
There's a million things. You got to go to war.
and
And
that's it.
you got to go to war. That's all there is. Just war, war, war.
Just war and fighting. Yeah. Well, it was a part of life, right?
Yeah, it definitely was a major part of life.
And it was an ongoing. It wasn't like, well, let's go to one big one. No, it's like we're going to go away for 2 years, and
Yeah.
then we're going to be back for a couple months, and then we got to go again. We got to
Yeah.
protect this front, protect that front. And,
Well, even just in reading about King Henry VIII, there, like he was constantly at war
right.
with someone, and France and England had a big, because Britain had a lot of land on the top of where France is, and they held on to it for a long time, and that was a front they were always protecting because
Right.
they didn't want, because France was right there, right? It's like, but England still did get boats over there to then get men over there and, protect it. And some of it got lost and some of it didn't. And then the Germanic states were fighting too, and, they would all join up against each other, and Spain was in that mix and whatnot.
Right.
The French don't like Germany very much because Germany, when it was still Germanic states, marched right through Berlin, or not Berlin, Belgium, because Belgium, I think, took a neutral state, but the Germans just marched right in and took part of France. And it's like,
We're here.
it's like, what? So the French weren't too happy about that. And then, of course, Austria started to develop its own thing. Poland was a big power for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and now they make jokes about Poland.
Do they? Don't share one.
No, I'm not going to.
I make jokes about everybody.
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh, I didn't say I do.
Oh, I thought you said
I can't.
you do.
I could.
You could.
But
there are
everybody's
jokes
fair
about,
game.
Yeah, absolutely. The Irish.
Just don't joke about me. Take it too personally. I'm too sensitive.
Yeah, too sensitive. But yeah, you're right. As I'm getting older, I do find like I'm walking around ants. Like I'm not like
Oh, exactly. That's exactly
Stomping
that's
over
exactly
top
what
of
I mean.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean.
it's
Yeah.
like, no, you go along your way. I'll go this way.
Yeah, and I don't think it's well, I'm getting closer to death. I'm more aware of my mortality. I don't that's not that.
Right.
It's
right.
just this is life. Mm-hmm. This is life. Why would
This
I
is
want
a
to
form
end
of life.
life?
Yeah.
Why would I want to hurt life? Why would I want to stop? I don't want to stop anybody from doing something.
Right.
Whatever you want to do.
As long as it doesn't hurt other people.
Right. Whatever you want to do, whatever you believe, whatever floats your boat, whatever. Like, I don't understand that wanting to stop somebody from doing
Yeah.
something. Just let people do their own thing.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah, the
all,
only
all
rules
the
are
way
don't
down
hurt
to
other
why do I
people.
need to step on this ant?
And like as long as it's consensual. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you do you.
Yeah.
Because this whole like, sexual preference and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, hey, love is love.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? Whatever you're into.
Who cares? And also, what business is it of yours what your neighbor is doing?
Yeah. Again, as long as it's not hurting anyone.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to underline that because, just want to make sure.
Right. Well, my preference is to run around punching people randomly in the neck. Am I not allowed to do that?
No.
Obviously, you can't. No, as long as you're not hurting people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or doing anything against someone's will.
Right. Yeah. Well.
You can't interfere with other people's free will either.
Right.
If
free will in fact exists.
yeah. Or if they're doing harm. That's why we have prisons, right? Like, we're going to stop you from the bad behavior and we're going to punish you because you made the wrong choice. Because we've all agreed murder is wrong, right? So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I don't want to go to jail. We've established that.
What's that?
That I don't want to go to jail.
You don't want to go to jail. Okay. Okay. We've got 1 point down.
Hopefully, it won't come to that.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh my goodness. All right, how long have we gone? Oh, a little over an hour.
Okay.
So not bad.
Yeah, that's a good place to end it.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. We're going to try and do this once a week, right?
Sure.
All right. So hopefully you will enjoy my new co-host, Mark. let us know in the comments what if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to talk about. We'll talk about anything, everything, and
Nothing at all.
there you go. So thanks for being here. Subscribe, share with your friends, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, all those good things. There you go. All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.